People need to realize that relationships are built more than just on that attraction, that really exciting, special kind of feeling, that there's emotional, intellectual, spiritual, and physical, and that you want to make sure that in all four of those areas that you're connected. Because I think a lot of people are only connected on one or two levels, and it gets you by for a while, but when your relationship is challenged, you have to have either the intellect or the physical or the spiritual or the emotional to carry you through, because you're always going to be challenged. And relationships are either challenged internally or externally. You have financial challenges, and you're looking at me like she's going into her lecture mode, but you have a lot of things that challenge your marriage.
You're going into your therapist mode.
Oh. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a therapist.
Not anymore.
No, it's part of the wisdom that I've gained over the years of working with a lot of people. You really need to have a good foundation.
And the other thing is, marry someone really smart.
Or equally as smart as you. Yeah.
That helps, actually. That really that really does. If you share, if you have an intellectual bond as well as an emotional bond as well as a physical bond, it does. You're right. It's all four.
I think what I love most about you is the fact that you allow me to be me and help me to be more of me than anyone else has ever done in my life.
And what I love most about you is that I feel you have an extraordinary love of life, of people, of family, of me. That it just pours out of you, and you are easily the most loving person I've ever known.
Thank you. Yeah.
I didn't expect to find love in my 40s. I thought that it was actually time to settle. I knew I didn't want to be alone. So I kind of thought it was, well, it's time to settle now. I've looked for the magic. I haven't found it. So now it's time to settle. And once I got to that place, as Gail would say, which I don't think applies to show business, but it definitely applies here, the universe opened up and the magic happened. When I was not looking for it, when I didn't even necessarily want it, it happened. And I think maybe that's the core part of the story, is when you're not looking for it is when you're most likely to find it. Because love is very, very hard to manufacture.
I think most people think that the first thing that happens is love. You fall in love. But I don't think that really is it. I think it's when all of the right ingredients are together, then the real love happens. And I think that the right ingredients have to be there first, and then love. And I think that the idea that most people are kind of looking for love and they're going to find it over there and then all the rest of the stuff is going to happen, I think it's backwards. It's important to tell the story because I think one man in the early stages of my career as a clinical psychologist, you just knew that he and his wife had a very, very special marriage. You just knew it. They worked together. And I'd walk up the stairs and say good morning to him, and he would give me his pieces of wisdom, and he would say, what life is really, really all about is that when I wake up first thing in the morning, Betty's there, and I look at her and I say good morning. And he said, at the end of the day, I crawl in bed and I look over and I say good night to her and give her a kiss. And I think that's really, when you really realize what life, you can chase after fame, you can chase after money, you can chase after a whole lot of things, but ultimately it's about having that person who really understands you most, that goes through life with you, and shares life with you, and provides meaning for what it's all about. In addition to the children that come along and the other part of your family, that's really where true meaning is. And I think that's what we found. And it's funny because people will look at us and they'll say, "How long have you guys been married?" Because they think that we just got married recently. You know, a lot of times it's funny.
Or they think we've been married for 30 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that you would wish for everyone, is to find the right relationship. And, you know, we regret that we didn't find it sooner. To imagine, had we found each other and had been right at the right moment and ready for it, what it could have been to have been married for 40 years by now.
That's true.
It's an interesting thing to ponder. But better late than never.
Yeah.
Yeah.